Once upon a time, in the city of Lagos, inside a busy area called Ajagun, there lived two poor bread sellers named Jane and Stephanie. Every morning, before the sun came out, Jane and Stephanie would wake up very early. They would carry heavy trays filled with bread on their heads and start moving from one street to another, shouting, "Hot bread! Fresh bread for sale!" Life was very hard for them. Many days, they could not even sell up to 5 loaves of bread. The little money they made was not enough to feed themselves. Talk more of paying rent or buying new clothes. Their clothes were old and torn, and their slippers had holes in them. But they had no choice. They continued struggling because that was the only way they could survive. In the same Lagos city, not very far from Ajagun, lived a beautiful young lady named Vivien. Vivien was what people call a happening babe. She was very famous on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. Every day, she would post pictures and videos, showing off her beautiful car, her big, fine house, and her expensive clothes. Vivien would post pictures of herself at the airport, at fine restaurants, and at hotels in Dubai. She would wear shiny, long human hair wigs and post videos where she danced to trending songs. Many girls admired Vivien, but they did not know her secret. Whenever Vivien posted pictures of her rich lifestyle, Jane and Stephanie would gather together in their small one-room house and use Stephanie's small phone to watch Vivien's videos. Jane would sigh and say, "Ah, this life is not balanced. See how this Vivien is living fine, traveling up and down, enjoying herself, and see us here suffering like goats." Stephanie would shake her head and reply, "My sister, if I see this kind of money I go forget about bread selling. I wish she can show us the way to make it." But what Jane and Stephanie did not know was that Vivien's wealth did not come from selling wigs. In fact, she had not sold a single wig in the past 6 months. All those human hair wigs she posted on her social media were just to deceive people. Vivien had a secret. She was working with a man called Thomas, an agent who lived in Dubai. Thomas's job was to connect Nigerian girls to rich Dubai men. But it was not an ordinary business. These wealthy Dubai men would pay for the girls' flights, hotels, and feeding. But when the girl arrived, the real business would start. The rich men would come to the hotel room, poo on the floor, and ask the girl to eat it. Yes, eat human waste. After the dirty act, they would pay the girl huge money, sometimes in dollars. Vivien was already used to this dirty business. She had done it many times and was living large from it. But nobody in Lagos knew this. Not even her family. One evening, the landlord of Jane and Stephanie came to their house. His face was very angry. "Jane! Stephanie! Come outside now!" he shouted. They came out, looking weak and hungry. "When will you pay my rent? It's been 8 months now. If you people cannot pay by next week, pack out of my house." Jane and Stephanie begged, "Landlord, please help us. We will pay soon." "No more stories," the landlord barked and walked away. The same week, the bakery owner where they used to collect bread on credit told them not to come again until they paid all the money they owed. Hunger started dealing with them. They would sleep at night with empty stomachs, drinking Gary with no sugar. One night, as they lay on their mat inside the hot room, Stephanie had an idea. "Jane, what if we contact Vivien?" "For what?" Jane asked. "Let's pretend we want to buy wig, then go to her house. When we get there, we will kneel down and beg her to show us the way she made it." Jane thought about it and nodded. "Yes, oh. Nothing spoil. We no go die poor like this." The next day, Stephanie used her small phone and chatted Vivien on TikTok. "Hello big sis. Please, I want to buy one of your wigs, but I want to come and pick it myself. I don't want to order online. To avoid what I ordered versus what I got. Vivien was surprised. She had not sold any wig for months, but she didn't want to look like a failure. Okay, no problem. Come over, she replied and sent her house address. That evening, Jane and Stephanie cleaned up. They used their last money to buy sachet water and washed their old clothes. Jane borrowed a small powder from their neighbor to rub on her face. When they arrived at Vivien's house, they were shocked. The house was very big, painted white, with a beautiful flower garden. A clean car was packed in front. A security man opened the gate for them. Inside the house, Vivien sat on a big, soft chair. She was wearing a long gown and her human hair was touching her waist. The room smelled nice. Good afternoon, Ma, they greeted. Vivien smiled. Where's the money for the wig? But instead of answering, Jane and Stephanie knelt down. Vivien, please help us. Show us the way. We're suffering. No food, no money. Our landlord wants to throw us out. The bakery has stopped giving us bread. We want to be like you. Please show us the way. Vivien's face changed. She was not expecting that. You people are not serious. You came here for wig and now you're begging me. Carry yourselves and leave my house. Jane and Stephanie cried and begged, but Vivien did not listen. She ordered them out. They left with heavy hearts. After Jane and Stephanie left Vivien's house that day, they cried all the way home. The hot sun beat their heads, and their torn slippers made loud sounds as they walked along the dusty road. Stephanie, are we cursed? Jane asked, tears falling from her eyes. I don't even know again, Stephanie replied, wiping her nose with her palm. If I die poor, I'll slap God in heaven. They both laughed bitterly. Even in sadness, they found a way to joke. That evening, while Vivien scrolled through her phone, a message popped up from her agent in Dubai, Thomas. Babe, any new girls available? My boss wants fresh faces next week. Payment will be big this time. Vivien thought about Jane and Stephanie. She remembered their hungry faces, their tears, and their desperate begging. A wicked smile appeared on her face. All right, let me use these ones, she said to herself. She quickly messaged Stephanie. Hey girl, are you still interested in making money? Stephanie screamed in excitement and showed Jane the message. Jesus Christ! She has replied. Without wasting time, they replied. Yes, big sis. Anything you say, we're ready. Vivien sent them details to meet her at a shopping mall in Victoria Island the next morning. The next day, Jane and Stephanie wore their best clothes, the same old ones. They had no transport fare, so they begged a taxi rider to carry them, promising to pay when they returned. The man laughed at them. So you want to go to Victoria Island and you don't have money? But pity made him carry them. When they arrived at the mall, their mouths opened in shock. They had never seen a place so big and clean before. The air smelled of perfumes, and fine cars were parked everywhere. Vivien was waiting for them, dressed in a fine shiny gown with sunglasses. You two look like hungry rats, she mocked. But don't worry, very soon you'll shine like me. Jane and Stephanie laughed, pretending not to feel insulted. Vivien took them into the mall, bought them clothes, perfumes, and even new phones. The girls were shocked. They had never held a brand new phone before. Jane danced inside the store while Stephanie knelt down and shouted, God, I'm coming back for tithe. People inside the mall laughed at them. Vivien told them they would travel to Dubai in 3 days. Their passports, tickets, and everything would be handled by her agent. They should get ready for big money. Jane asked, "Big sis, what business are we doing in Dubai?" Vivien smiled. "Don't worry. When we reach there, you will see. It's big money work. Very simple." The girls did not care. Hunger had finished them. All they wanted was money. 3 days later, they arrived at Murtala Muhammad Airport. They had never been to an airport before. Jane almost fainted when she saw the big planes. Stephanie held her hand. "My sister, please don't fall down. People will think it's village people that follow us." They both laughed. When they landed in Dubai, a fine black car came to pick them up. The hotel they stayed in was like a palace. The bed was soft like bread. The air conditioner was blowing cold like winter. They ate rice, chicken, ice cream, and even pizza for the first time. "Ah, this life sweet oh!" Jane shouted. But their joy was short-lived. That night, Vivien gathered them in the room. Her face was serious. "Listen, this is the business," she said. "The men will come. They'll pay big money. But there's one thing. They'll poo and you'll eat it. No complain, no run. If you try it once, you'll collect thousands of dollars." Jane's eyes widened. "Ah, eat poo." Stephanie shook her head. "No, God forbid." Vivien laughed. "If you don't want, no problem. But you'll remain poor forever. Just one night, and your life will change." The girls kept quiet. Hunger had silenced their morals. That night, 3 big men entered the room. They dropped bundles of dollars on the table. Then the dirty business started. Jane cried silently as she did it. Stephanie almost vomited, but Vivien shouted at her, "Do it now or go back to poverty." By morning, each girl was handed $20,000. They could not believe their eyes. After they returned to Lagos, rich and transformed, Jane sent money to her family in the village to renovate their house. Stephanie bought a small car and rented a fine apartment. They continued traveling with Vivien, trip after trip, and wealth came their way. But as the money grew, so did the darkness following them. But before I continue with the story, I want to thank all my wonderful subscribers and viewers for your love and support. If this is your first time here, or you've been watching without subscribing, please hit that subscribe button and join the family. We would love to have you. Thank you once again. Now, let's continue with the story. After 2 years, things changed. Vivien fell sick. Her stomach became hard. She started vomiting black liquid. Vivien was lying helplessly on the hospital bed. The once beautiful, happening babe with her long human hair wig and flashy nails now looked like an empty shell. Her skin turned pale, her lips dry, and her body weak. The doctors were confused. "Doctor, please help my friend," Stephanie cried, holding Vivien's cold hand. Jane stood by the window, tears rolling down her face. "This is not the Vivien I know. God, please don't let her die," she whispered. The doctor walked in, shaking his head. "We've done all we can. We can't find the cause of her illness. It's beyond medical knowledge." "Doctor, what are you saying? You mean you don't know what is wrong with her?" Jane asked with fear in her eyes. "We've tested everything. No result. I suggest you take her to a traditional healer," the doctor advised and left the room. Stephanie and Jane carried Vivien carefully into Jane's car. Vivien's breathing was weak, and she kept murmuring, "Help me, help me." They drove straight to a native doctor in Ajugun, known as Baba Kofi. Baba Kofi was a short, old man with grey beards and red eyes. He wore a wrapper and no shirt. His compound smelled of herbs and dry animal skulls hung on his walls. "Who is this one you carry come my shrine?" Barber Kofi asked, chewing bitter cola. "Barber, please, is our friend. She is sick, the hospital couldn't cure her. Please help us," Jane pleaded. Barber Kofi squinted at Vivien. This one is doing dirty business. The money ritual business that she did backfired to her." Stephanie's eyes widened. "No, Barber, she is selling wigs online." "Wig key. Please don't deceive me. This girl is eating human poo for money. If you want her to live, you will give out everything you get, money, house, car, wig, everything, to motherless babies' home. Or else, she will die and you too will follow." Jane and Stephanie looked at each other. Their heart beat fast. Give away everything. After all the Dubai trips. After all the money. The house. The cars. "Barber, we can't do that," Jane protested. "You know how many times I sleep hungry for ajagun. How I sell bread under sun. I can't lose all this now." Stephanie started crying. "Let's try another place." Without waiting for Barber's reply, they carried Vivien back into the car. She was getting worse. Blood was now coming out of her nose and ears. On the way home, Vivien took a last deep breath and died. Vivien is dead." Stephanie screamed, holding Vivien's lifeless body. Jane parked by the roadside. "Chai! What are we going to do now?" They cried for hours, confused, scared, shaking like leaf. Finally, they drove to a mortuary and deposited Vivien's body. That evening, Jane sent a message to Vivien's family. The next day, something terrible happened. Stephanie started coughing blood. She fell on the floor, shaking. Jane rushed her to a powerful prophet she saw on Facebook. The prophet's place was far inside Badagry bush. Jane carried weak Stephanie inside. "Man of God, please help us," Jane begged. The prophet touched Stephanie's forehead and closed his eyes. "This is spiritual attack from money ritual and dirty business. A heavy sacrifice must be made tonight, or else she will die." Jane knelt down. "Any sacrifice, just tell me." "Bring 1 million naira and 2 white goats," the prophet said. Jane quickly transferred the money to his account. "I will buy goat now. Go and come back tomorrow. By then, I will prepare everything," the prophet smiled. Jane carried Stephanie home. Stephanie was weak, pale, and barely breathing. The next morning, Jane went back to the prophet's house. But the house was empty. No prophet. No chair. No shrine. Nothing. The place looked abandoned, like nobody ever lived there. I have been scammed," Jane screamed. When she rushed back home, Stephanie was lying lifeless. She had died in her sleep, blood on her pillow. Jane shouted. From that day, Jane started feeling sharp pains in her stomach, strange voices in her head at night, and blood in her cough. Afraid, she packed what was left of her things and ran to her village. Her family gathered around as she told them the whole story: the wigs, the Dubai trips, the poo eating, the money, Vivien, and Stephanie's deaths. Her mother cried, "My daughter, see what greed has done to you." They took her to the strongest herbalist in the village. He gave her herbs and concoctions. Jane drank them. She bathed with them. But her body was weak, her bones pained her. Months later, Jane died quietly in her mother's room. The once street bread sellers and happening Lagos girl, all gone. Their wealth vanished. Their flashy cars sold. Their houses empty. Gossip spread in Ajugun. Is this how dirty money business day end person life? Who knows how many girls they do 'em now? Beautiful question for you. If you were in Jane and Stephanie's shoes, would you risk your life and dignity for fast money? Think about it and drop your answer in the comment section. Moral lesson. Greed kills. No matter how hard life gets, never sacrifice your health, dignity, and future for temporary riches. Quick money comes with a bitter price. The world might celebrate fake lifestyles on social media, but behind the scenes, dark secrets destroy lives. Stay content, work hard, and trust your own honest path, because no matter how slow it seems, clean hands always win in the end. The end.